The Chancellor put in a brave face on it, but this a difficult second budget, bringing acute political jeopardy for her and this government.
Chancellor, is this budget about your own survival? Will it be your last?
That red box carrying manifesto-breaking tax rises, that was bad enough for this embattled Chancellor, and it was about to get a whole lot worse. Soon after Rachel Reeves set off an unprecedented blunder, the budget accidentally published by the fiscal watchdog before the Chancellor had even stood up in the Commons, sending markets into turmoil, spoiling the Chancellor's pitch and adding to the sense of chaos engulfing this government.
This is what has just been published. This is basically the budget.
So surprising is this leak ahead of the budget, and I cannot stress how I have never seen anything like it.
Mr. Speaker.
Look at this. That's the Chancellor finding out her budget had been accidentally leaked. Clearly furious.
I call the Chancellor of the Exchequer.
This is deeply disappointing and a serious error on their part. The Office for Budget Responsibility have already made a statement taking full responsibility for their breach.
After the worst possible start, she moved on to her pitch.
Today's budget builds on the choices that we have made since July last year. To cut NHS waiting lists, to cut the cost of living, and to cut debt and borrowing. These are my choices. Not austerity, not borrowing, not turning a blind eye to unfairness. My choices are a budget for fair taxes, strong public services and a stable economy. That is the Labour choice.
Her choice to deliver that, another massive tax-raising budget, 26 billion more in taxes, taking Britain's tax burden to a record high by the end of this Labour term. A Chancellor going back on promises made in the manifesto and her first budget as she froze income tax thresholds for 3 more years, dragging nearly 2 million people into paying more tax.
I will maintain all income tax and equivalent national insurance thresholds at their current level for a further 3 years from 2028. I know that maintaining these thresholds is a decision that will affect working people.
And that was just the start, with taxes on electric vehicles, pension contributions, landlords, gambling, houses worth over £2 million. The Chancellor using tax rises to reassure the markets she's wedded to sound public finances. Some sweetness too. Bigger than inflation rises in the minimum wage and state pensions, a cut to energy bills, rail fares frozen and a 2-year freeze on fuel duty. And for her party, action on child poverty.
Because I am tackling fraud and error in our welfare system, because I am cracking down on tax avoidance, because I am reforming gambling taxation, I can announce today, fully costed and fully funded, the removal of the 2-child limit in full from April.
This delighted her backbenchers.
I commend this statement to the House.
But the leader of the opposition going for the jugular.
She chose to spend more and more money she didn't have, leaving taxpayers to foot the bill. She is out of money, out of ideas, out of her depth, and she has run out of road. The country simply cannot afford a Chancellor who can't keep her own promises. Her position is untenable, and she knows it.
And drawing a clear dividing line on the welfare cuts Labour's ducked.
Labour are hiking taxes to pay for welfare. This is a budget for Benefit Street, Madam Deputy Speaker.
From that to this, Labour to a London hospital. The NHS safe ground for this trio.
Oh, that's better.
But what of those broken pledges? In the budget in 2024, you said extending the threshold freeze would hurt working people. It would take more money out of their pay slips. Today, you've just broken your manifesto pledges and your promise to millions of workers in the budget last year you would not extend the threshold. How in good conscience can you stay on in your job?
In the manifesto, we were very clear. It was the rates of income tax, national insurance and VAT. But I'm not going to get into semantics. I do recognise that I was asking ordinary people to pay a little bit more. But I've managed to keep that contribution as low as I possibly can by closing loopholes and asking those with the broadest shoulders to pay more.
Just acknowledge you've broken a manifesto pledge, because you have. The IFS have said you have.
Well, if you read the manifesto, we're very clear. We say the rates of income tax, national insurance and VAT. But if you're asking, does this have a cost for working people, I acknowledge it does. I said that in the budget last year. I'm not going to pretend otherwise.
Rachel Reeves told us all a year ago when she announced a massive tax-raising budget that she wouldn't be coming back for more and she would protect working people. Well, today she's torn up those pledges. It's a budget that goes against the spirit and the tone of the general election. But this is a government fighting for survival. And this is a budget, in the words of one cabinet colleague, about self-preservation, not about the country. After all, that general election is still years away. This is a Labour budget for Labour backbenchers, and it might buy this Chancellor more time. But as for her credibility, that might not be recoverable.